Warning, the podcast you're about to hear has a unique conservative perspective and may be politically incorrect, containing some controversy in its message. This episode may speak out against liberalism, socialism, the dark state, and religious organizations. It is possible that evil in politics, education, law, society, and religion will be discussed and exposed. However, we believe this podcast adds truth and value to a mature, disenfranchised audience who may be tired of apostate religions and wicked world systems. Listeners who are easily offended, overly sensitive, or have progressive leanings sympathetic to the topics we expose should be forewarned not to listen any further. We thank both those who choose to listen as well as those who choose not to listen. You've been warned. And now, let us get on with the show.
Welcome to the Freedom Friday Hour. Today's date is
March 3rd, 2017.
And we're going to talk about some weird stuff today, Miss KAPOW. There's a lot of transgender, demonic, weird entity junk going on.
Yes.
A lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's sickening.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
What gets me really upset is these folks that defend it like it's normal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like this is a normal thing.
Yeah.
It's not.
And it's even gone to the children, so there aren't any parents really combating against it. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to hurt the children. That's why they had that movie out, Beauty and the Beast, where they actually have a homosexual content in there.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
And then these kids, you know, they're being educated in these socialist schools and universities, and the thinking's all messed up. I mean, the country, that's how you destroy the countries from inside.
Right.
You don't need outside invaders. You collapse it from inside. You collapse the morals of a people. It's just amazing.
It is.
You know, in 2008, not that long ago, when gay marriage was legalized by the Supreme Court and then legitimatized. It's legitimate. It's okay for man on man, woman on woman. It's a sexual perversion, but it's okay. And it's become just so mainstream that to say otherwise, you know, you're just some kind of weird bigot living in the Stone Age or something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Even the church has, when I say the church, I mean, you know, the pagan, post-biblical churchianity, Cheez-Its church has embraced homosexuality and gayness. And it's like, it's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. I was looking at a website the other day because I was researching some of this transgender stuff biblically, and possibly to do a show on it if I can quit vomiting. But yeah, I went to I think it's Christian Gays or Gay Christian 101 or something like that. I forget what it's called. You know, and I was reading all their arguments to convince others that it's okay to continue on in a sexual sin and sexual lust and a sexual perversion. No matter if it's homosexuality or pornography, it matters little. It's just why go through great lengths to justify your rebellion against God?
Right.
You know, why go through great lengths? Then why even call yourself a Christian or a God follower in the first place?
Yep.
You know, because there's a reason, there's an agenda. It's what these demonic entities do.
Yes, exactly right.
Cause confusion and deceive and lead others astray.
Yep, that's their agenda.
And it's really amazing. But since 2008, with gay marriage, you know, wow, you sound like some old dude. So
you're out of touch.
You're out of touch. You know, there's gays everywhere. What are you talking about? It's not normal. A man being with another man is not normal. That's some sick sexual perversion. That's demonic.
Yep.
A female being with another female is not natural. That's sick, demonic behavior. And then this country legitimatized it And when that happened, I mean, I said, the next thing you're going to see all the transgender stuff. Then you're going to see the pedophile stuff. Yep. Then you're going to see the bestiality stuff. So we're at the pedophile stage now, where that's really becoming mainstream.
Right.
It's all over the place, you know, Pizzagate and all that stuff. And right now it's like, Pizzagate. Next year, no one's going to care about Pizzagate because it's just going to be a normal thing. And then you're going to have bestiality.
Right.
You're going to have that. And that, that's going to include robot sex and all that stuff. Sex with anything but a human is what it's going to, it's
whatever you want.
Yeah, because demonics, demons are very sexual, not because they like the pleasure. It's because that's how they transfer. That's how they pass from a human host to another human host. That's one of the ways. It's through the blood. It's through the semen. They do that.
Yeah. And plus their lust is so great that they'll have sex with anything.
Anything, even an ATM machine. So anyway, we're going to talk about this Trinity transgender wrestler. Just disgusting. In fact, that's why I was doing the research biblically on this stuff, because I was just going to do a whole show just on this, but we're going to touch on it today. And then if everybody remembers that Florida face biter, the guy who...
Yeah, bludgeoningly murdered that couple in the garage.
Yes, for no reason. We're going to talk about him and what he said in an interview about demons in his life. See, there's always more to this. These guys just don't wake up one day.
No. His mom even said that he was acting strange. And guess who's going to help him is that Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with ratings. He really cares about this guy.
He does. Is he even a real doctor of some sort?
I wonder at times,
Yeah. Yeah, Dr. Phil, that's going to help a lot. Like, thanks, Dr. Phil. Wow, my whole life's changed now. And then the Satanic Temple is about to go mainstream. Why?
Yeah.
Because of Trump. We'll talk about the connection there. UFO sightings are increasing, and we'll give you the numbers. They're all over the place. And then this one is super creepy. This one, you really, as a listener, you really need to make time to go to our Fifth Hook Media Facebook page. Fifth Hook Media Facebook. You have to see this genderless alien dude.
Oh, I know.
Oh, man. Because I can talk about it all day, but you have to see him.
Words can't describe exactly what this thing looks like.
It's amazing. And it just shows you how the spiritual manifests into the physical. This is a prime example of that. And then we're going to talk about these robots and, sex bots. I've been predicting this for years. I say it's going to be $1 billion industry. So if you want to make a lot of money, get on the ground floor, invest in sex bots now. It's going to be huge.
Huge.
They're working on these things, and now they're working on getting them covered in real human flesh, just like the Terminator 800. Yeah. Then that's the other thing. So while you're on Facebook page, look at this robot article, because this guy in Hong Kong made himself a nice little robot. And it looks like, what's her name? Scarlett
Johansson?
Yes. It looks like her. Now, I guess it's not illegal to make something out of somebody else's image or something.
Yeah, not yet.
No, but
it's pretty gross. It's pretty scary.
It looks like her. In the picture that he's posing with this robot, it's hard to tell that that's not a human. Yeah. Creepy.
Very creepy.
Creepy dude from Hong Kong making sex robots that look like Scarlett.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to talk about all this stuff, but first,
my scripture.
A scripture message from our sponsor, which is the Word of God.
The scripture I have is short. It's Proverbs 30, verses 11 through 14. And it says, "There is a generation that curseth their father, and doth not bless their mother. There is a generation that are pure in their own eyes, and yet is not washed from their filthiness. And there is a generation, oh, how lofty are their eyes, and their eyelids are lifted up. And there is a generation whose teeth are as swords, and their jaw teeth as knives, to devour the poor from off the earth, and the needy from among men."
Man, You know what? I don't ever remember hearing that one like that.
Well, there it is.
With the jaws and the teeth and everything? Mm-hmm. My goodness.
I know, huh?
My goodness. I will tell you one thing. When I was doing this transgender, research, looking at biblical scriptures and looking at some historical things, there's nothing new under the sun.
No.
There was a lot of weird men dressing up as women throughout history doing weird stuff. It's really nothing quite new. I think it's a resurgent of that demonic spirit, part of the last days, because we're seeing it in such great magnitude now. But these demons have been doing this stuff for a long time. Mixing linen and cotton, mixing seed. Yeah, very bad.
When you said that there's nothing new under the sun, I wanted to share with what the Lord had showed me one time,
All right.
That there is nothing new under the sun, but God did something new. He's the only one.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. He's the only one that did something new and put his law in men's hearts, if you were to accept that, and provided a way out of this prison planet upon your death or upon your resurrection.
Yeah. So everything on this natural plane is very horizontal.
Yeah.
But with God, everything's vertical.
Vertical.
And he's the only one, the only creator God, and he's the only one that's done something new.
Yeah. Amen.
All right, Ron.
Amen. I just want to remind everybody before we read this story that Daniel 2:42 through 44, they're talking about the image that Nebuchadnezzar dreamed of, and Daniel's interpreting it, and he says, well, God's interpreting it through Daniel. It says, as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. But they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. Amen. Now, it's interesting because the NIV Bible, I don't have an NIV in front of me, but they translate this part that says, and they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. In the Hebrew, in the text, I'm reading out of the King James, obviously, but in the Masoretic text, in the Hebrew, and I can show you this through the Jewish Publication Society or through ancient text, this is what it says. It says, clay is number one, it's in Aramaic. This particular passage of scripture is in Aramaic, not in Hebrew. Aramaic's close to Hebrew. It's in Aramaic. And it's clay. The word Aramaic is hasap. It means a clay or potsherd, right? And it says, they shall mingle themselves. It's hawa. It's or havah. It means to connect, to become, to mingle. It's they come, being arise, to let become known, to come into. See? And then the other word, mingle themselves, is let's see, it's the same thing. It's the mingle.
Right.
With the seed, offspring or seed of men. Inash. This is Aramaic. Man. Whosoever. Man. A human being. Mankind. Collective. But they shall not cleave one another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. I mean, that's what the Hebrew is. There's nothing else there. That's what it is. Well, the NIV, it's interesting because they interpret this and they say, they shall intermarry.
Oh, you know what that is? It's the ESV, not the NIV.
Oh, I read it in the NIV.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Because
The ESV says the same thing?
the ESV says, in fact, I'll read it to you.
All right.
Verse 42 says, as the toes of the feet were partly iron and partly clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly brittle. As you saw the iron mixed with soft clay, so they will mix with one another in marriage, but they will not hold together, just as iron does not mix with clay.
And that's the ESV. Now, if you can find the NIV.
NIV.
Yeah.
Okay. I have the NIV here.
Okay.
So as the toes were partly iron and partly clay, so this kingdom will be partly strong and partly brittle. And just as you saw the iron mixed with baked clay, so the people will be a mixture and will not remain united any more than iron mixes with clay.
Okay. So this say marriage. I'm sorry, but so I did read that in the ESV, but it said, read that again about they will not remain united.
Okay, let's see here. In NIV, it says, so the people will be a mixture and will not remain united.
Okay, that's not in the biblical text. That's not in the text. Mm-mm. There's nothing about is not remain united. It says they shall not cleave one another. Just as iron mixed with clay does not. The word cleave is to cling, to stick to.
That's right.
The NIV whitewashes it. You miss the whole, they shall mix their seed, mingle themselves with the seed of men.
Right.
Okay? It misses the whole thing. The ESV goes out and actually lies and says they put the marriage word in there and it's not in there.
No.
I think they have a footnote on that. They have a footnote on the marriage that says...
the seed of men.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And it's way down on the bottom.
Right.
So that's the actual translation in Aramaic as a seed of men. But when you read the NSV, they say they'll mingle themselves in marriage. It doesn't exist.
No.
They lie. These are lying translations. These are satanic translations. They lie. Mm-hmm. They lie. One of the things I hate about the NIV is they take all the spiritual out of it.
Yeah.
The supernatural. God's a supernatural being.
Well, because they can't understand the supernatural, the spiritual.
So obviously it can't mean that, so we have to change it. So I point that out to you because before we start reading these stories about transgender, I want you to think about that in those days, we're talking about the days right before the fifth kingdom, which is Christ's kingdom. Mm-hmm. We're at the last part of the fourth kingdom. In those days of these kings, there's kings over the earth. I'm not talking about Trump and Putin and Netanyahu. We're talking about spiritual kings. You're talking about, some people call them aliens. You're talking about watchers. You're talking about those hosts that are set up to guide mankind. Mm-hmm. They're mixing the seed with men. You notice it doesn't say with women. It says with men. Mm-hmm. Mingle themselves with the seed of men. But it can't cleave. That's why they're crazy.
Yeah.
They can't cleave, just like iron's not mixed with clay. It doesn't work. When does a king, when does a blue blood mix with a regular person, and then you go and you say, well, it doesn't work because iron can't mix with clay, and that's why the kingdom's partly strong, partly weak. What does it matter what a human is mixed with?
That's right.
It's just like Genesis 6:4. I mean, you're sitting there, people are going, that's the sons of Seth mixed with the daughters of Cain, and created. You don't create giants by two humans mixing. God doesn't destroy the earth because humans made it.
That's right.
There's something supernatural going on there. These idiots, they can deny stuff all they want. But they miss the point of understanding what's happening in the last times. It's very important. Mm-hmm. But they miss that. And so, yeah. So keep that in mind. You keep that in mind because, well, that's what they do.
That's right.
That's what they do. Mm-hmm. Let's see. There was one other one. Let's see. Yeah. I was trying to find it here. Okay. I don't know. I can't find it here. Anyway, keep that in mind. Let's go and talk about Trinity. That's a university. Now, I have a friend. I've known this man since I got saved at age 15, and then I backslid for 35 years. But I got saved at age 15. This man was a mentor to me as a kid, and Ron Walters. So I don't know if he's listening or not. But Ron Walters, I've known him for years. I haven't seen him in years, but we're connected on Facebook, and he lives there in Texas. But anyway, he's well aware of this particular story, and it's not too far from his house, and so he has a lot of details on this particular story. And he even says it's deplorable. It's just a deplorable thing to happen. This is Trinity's transgender wrestler wins with pin, advances the championship. And it gets a little confusing if I were to read it, so I'll have to explain it to you. There's a female. Her male name is Mac Beggs, but it's a female. This female thinks it's a male. So this female is transitioning. It's becoming a transgendered male. Is that correct, Ms. KAPOW? Mm-hmm. It's a female becoming a transgendered male.
Right.
So she has been taking testosterone for over a year to get big and bulky and look like a dude.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? Mm-hmm. Everybody knows any sport, if you're doping or juicing, it is illegal and you get thrown out of that sport. Because drugs like testosterone, anabolic steroids, in fact, without a doubt, absolutely give someone a physical competitive edge against people who are not on these drugs. Mm-hmm. When I was a narcotic officer, I did a lot of steroid investigations at one point in my career. I testified as an expert in anabolic steroids in court.
That's right.
And I was a court certified expert in drugs, in anabolic steroids. I had undercover guys buying drugs from bodybuilders for me. I know a little bit about this stuff. It works. Mm-hmm. It works. You can't be in a sport and be on dope. But not in Texas. This chick dismantled two opponents on Friday. She won both major decisions. She picked up her third consecutive state tournament victory with a pin of a rival, a real female named Kaylin Clay of Grand Prairie. This chick Beggs also defeated this gal in last week's regional tournament before Clay also advanced to the state. After the match, Clay followed suit with other wrestlers who have been pitted against this girl Beggs, who's a transgendered male now, a female transitioning to a male more than a year into testosterone treatment. And this gal declined to speak with reporters and was quick to exit the competition at the Berry Center in the Cypress Fairbanks School District. This is high school, going on to university, I believe. This gal, who's a transgendered male, guess what her score is for the season? 55 wins to 0 losses.
Yeah, well, I believe that. See, but that's not fair.
It's absolutely not fair, illegal, and immoral, and unethical. This gal it's like a dude wrestling all these chicks.
Yeah.
There's another weird guy out there. I forget his first name, Fallon. And he's a guy. It's just the opposite. He's a dude who's a transgendered woman. I think he's an MMA fighter, and he fights the women in the ring.
Yes, I know.
But he's a dude. And then people are like, well, skills are skills. I'm telling you what, if your skills are the same, if you're evenly matched in your Kung Fu, San Tzu, your skills are basically the same training, same thing. The one with more nature is going to win. Normally, unless that opponent is highly, highly, highly skilled. Nature usually wins. That's why big guys are bouncers. Mm-hmm. That's why big guys are football players. Big guys are professional wrestlers. It's nature. So, this gal named Biggs is winning the state tournament because the UIL rule, I forget what it's the university, I forget what that stands for, but there's, it's the fighting rule, forces her to wrestle as a girl and against girls.
Right.
Because the rule says you wrestle because of your gender. Because she still has a vagina, she wrestles girls. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Though she says, I'm transitioning to a man. Mm-hmm. At the regional tournament, 2 wrestlers, female wrestlers, forfeited rather than grapple with Biggs. They don't want to get hurt. One gal named Roca already qualified for state, but she lost her opening round match Friday after losing to Biggs, who has been on testosterone treatment since October 2015. Wow. Yeah. This one gal left the mat in tears. Her coach tersely declined an interview request for her wrestler. Many of the coaches have said they're not upset at Biggs, but just the predicament of the girls having to wrestle against an athlete on testosterone. See, they're trying to save their jobs. They can't come out and go, this is total horse crap, or they'll lose their jobs in this day of age.
Right.
So they have to say,
because you're a hater now.
Yeah, exactly. And shame on this Biggs girl for even doing this. How could she possibly say I'm a good wrestler knowing that she's on drugs? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be like an adult fighting kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of course you're going to win.
Like Kramer did when he was taking karate.
Yes.
Yeah.
On
Seinfeld. He was beating all those little kids up. He was ahead of his class.
Exactly. But you know what? All these other girls that were fighting this person should have, just said, I'm not going to fight her.
Yeah. I mean, no one should have even attended this stuff.
No.
Should have been boycotted, really. Because that's the problem with this country is we keep accepting this nonsense and it keeps going on and on. The more you accept it, instead of just taking a stand and going, I'm going to rebel with my wallet, with my votes,
exactly,
and with my presence.
Just don't participate.
Yeah. It's like the NFL, when that guy refuses to be an American.
Right.
We'll just keep watching football like it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. To some people, it does matter. But, with the vast majority of them are, never mind. So anyway, one athletic director who watched the action and didn't want his name to be used because of sensitivity of the issue, says there is cause for concern because of the testosterone. It's a benefit. Yeah. And one parent said that this Biggs person is a cheater.
Exactly.
And she says, look how beefed up she is. It's because she's taken an enhancement. Whether she's a boy, girl, wants to be purple or blue, it doesn't matter. When you're using a drug and you're 10 times stronger than the person you're wrestling because of that drug, that shouldn't be allowed.
Exactly.
Yeah. So anyway, 55-0. What a great achievement for Biggs. And you know what the thing is, and why did the UIL, why did they let her wrestle under this testosterone? Because
that's a good question.
Because it's medically supervised. Yeah.
So that's the what do you call it?
The loophole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The loophole.
Because she's transgendering to a male, she's under the care of a doctor giving her this testosterone treatment. Even though you and I know this is purely not for medical reasons, it's purely for looks, superficial reasons. But because they've made this a medical issue, the drugs she's on are medically prescribed.
Right.
So it's legal for her to be on those drugs while wrestling.
How convenient.
Isn't that a crock?
It is. It
Isn't that
really
a crock? Yeah.
That's so annoying. That would be
is.
so annoying if I had a daughter doing that.
Oh, yeah. And the thing is these athletes, these female wrestlers or any athlete, they're very competitive.
Yeah.
And, they don't just tap out. They don't just quit. They'll fight till they're almost dead.
Yeah. So this, in a way, is a challenge for them. If I could beat this person, I'm much stronger, or whatever.
Yeah. And they're getting just whooped.
Pride.
You can get really hurt fighting somebody that much stronger than you. Mm-hmm. Okay. In Florida, you remember the college guy. Yes, he was. This was several months ago. He was having dinner at a restaurant with his parents. Mm-hmm. He was a college student. I forget what his major was. And
I think it was has something to do with weight training or sports or something like that. Yeah.
All right. And he was acting weird at dinner, and I guess he got in an argument with his dad. And he got up and left. He was going to walk home, and he ends up in some neighborhood. And here's some people in their 50s. Like the guy was 59 years old and his wife was 53.
Right.
And they're sitting in their garage and they're having a margarita and yapping or whatever.
Like they usually do.
Yeah. And this guy walks in and he grabs a knife or a sickle or something.
A machete, I think it was. A machete? Wasn't it? Yeah.
And then he just he begins to kill him and stab him. And a neighbor went over there to try to help, and he stabbed him. Stabbed. When the police got there, this kid was on the victim's face, the male victim's face, eating him, literally eating him. So we reported that because that's obviously it's a demonic takeover of a host. But our question is, when we hear these stories, is what led up to this?
Right.
This guy just didn't wake up one day and go, I'm going to go nuts.
Yeah, and even he can't explain what happened.
No.
He's devastated by it. He's like, if I knew why I did it, I would tell you.
Yeah. So it was a total takeover. So he says, now he did an interview, I guess right after this happened, with Dr. Phil on TV or over the phone or something. I don't know. And he told Dr. Phil he was fleeing. He was running away from a demon-like figure named Danielle. Mm-hmm. And only had a vague recollection of the slayings. Really? There's a demon. And he said, my name is Daniel. Mm-hmm. See how they mock?
Yeah. Yep.
See how they mock? Oh, I believe him 100% that he was running from a demon-like figure.
Oh, yes, definitely.
In a 22-minute interview released Tuesday by prosecutors, this guy, his name is Austin, the killer, said he lost his wits as he walked back to his father's home after storming out of a restaurant where they had an argument. Mm-hmm. Dr. Phil asked about the devil talking to you, and the kid went on to describe a dark figure he called Daniel. He said, I got scared out of my mind. And then he said, this guy's 20 years old. He said, I got scared out of my mind. Let's see. Okay, it goes on with a bunch of nonsense I don't care about. He's a bodybuilder. You're right, who majored in exercise science. He said he stripped off most of his clothes as he tried to run away from this demon-like figure named Daniel. Mm. And then when Dr. Phil says, what were you thinking? He said, I just need to find someone to help me to figure out where I am. I don't even remember what I said to myself. I just remember being afraid, very scared. Mm. He said he didn't remember how he came face to face with the couple. Mm-hmm. He said,
it's just a blur to him, he says.
Yeah. He said she screamed and, it's a blur. He said, I don't remember what she said. I just remember being yelled at. He said he grabbed a machete he found in the garage, but doesn't remember why he killed her husband. It's like it happened, but I wasn't aware of it at the time. I don't know. If I knew, I would tell you. And then I remembered this part of the story. He said he drank something he found in the garage. He didn't know what it was, but it burned his esophagus, and he denied ever using steroids or hallucinogenic drugs such as flocka or bath salts, and it didn't show up on his blood test.
See, that's what's interesting.
Yeah. Now, when this happened, I remember we talked about it on Freedom Friday, and then when the drug test came out and said there was no flocka or bath salts in the system, hey, this is demonic. The police, when they arrived, they saw him on top of the victim eating his face. They didn't shoot the guy because they didn't want to hit the victim on the ground. So Well, that's up to your training. Mm-hmm. I would have shot him, really, I would have took the shot.
Yeah. But see, back then, too, there was a lot of hate towards the cops, and they were getting in trouble for actually doing their job. So I think, and I do remember we talked about that they didn't do it because probably of fear.
Yeah, probably so.
Retaliation and stuff.
And every second counts in that situation.
Mm-hmm. And that's a good standard answer. Well, we were afraid for the other guy, but
Yeah, maybe we would have hit him. So, who knows? I wasn't there. That's up to them. So, let's take a commercial break, Ms. KAPOW.
All right.
And then we'll be right back.
Hey, everyone. This is your brother KAPOW speaking to you. Many of you already know that my beautiful co-host, wife, and I have authored numerous books together. 2 are available in paperback, as well as in Kindle download. They are titled Demons in My Marriage Bed, A True Story of Spiritual Warfare, and Eyes to See Unseen Enemies, Looking at the Neo-Pagan Church. We want to offer to our KAPOW radio listeners a special $2 discount from the retail price of these 2 paperback books. Demons in My Marriage Bed is only $10.99. Eyes to See Unseen Enemies is only $8.99. This is how you can get your discount. Go to fifthhookmedia.com, FIFTHOOK media.com, and click on books, and then scroll down to select the book you want to get. Copy or write down the discount code for the book you want to buy, and click on the linked code to go directly to our Create Space website. Paste or type in the discount code at checkout. Voila, $2 off. Additionally, you can go to createspace.com, go to the search bar, use the drop-down menu to the left of the bar to search the store. Type in either title of the book you want, enter the discount code at checkout. Now, the codes are up front on both book pages. You can't miss them. We hope you take advantage of this offer, and please write us a review in Amazon. Share this information with others you think may like our material, and may our Lord and Savior richly bless all of you.
All right, we're back. Wow, this is another one. While you're on our Facebook page, Fifth Hook Media Facebook page, you got to look at this one too, because you got to see these. I think you would call them women. I'm not sure. I call them
gross women.
I call them ex-humans. Wow, if that's the representation of the temple of Satan, wow,
That should be a deterrent.
yeah, that's not a place to go to pick up chicks. Let me tell you that much. I'm just going to leave it at that. This is whoa, yeah. But here's what's interesting. The headline reads: "Is a Trump presidency the Satanic Temple's chance to go mainstream?" This is sad. It's a sad state of affairs. I mean, this whole Trump derangement syndrome.
Yep.
I remember when I was working, I had irritable male syndrome. Yeah, I was real grouchy, and I was real irritable. And I hated everybody. This is what people go through now is irritable Trump syndrome.
Yeah,
it's just everything he does.
Just irritates them.
They're just like irritated. They're all inflamed. It's become increasingly apparent that Donald Trump's administration wants to make religion inescapable, even for secularists. What does that mean? Anyway, day goes on and goes on. But there are some people who have other things in mind. Notably, the Satanic Temple. Now, I like these people. No, I don't. I'm being facetious. I don't like these people. But they're such liars, like their father. Because they call the Satanic Temple. What does that mean to you? It's a temple to Satan.
Yeah.
Right? Would that just make sense?
Yeah.
Satanic Temple. But they say it's not composed of the kind of devil worshippers people think about. These are Satanists. They identify as justice-oriented atheists. Really? Well, if you look at the picture that I'm talking about on Facebook, they're like holding up a bowl of blood to some priestess or something. Really? That's what we know atheists. Atheists don't do those kind of rituals. Okay?
Satanists do.
Satanists do. Okay. But they identify as justice-oriented atheists using the symbol, just the symbol of Satan, not just as parody, but also to challenge religious groups that use the mantle of God to justify their actions. These are the same knuckleheads that did the Oklahoma Ten Commandments thing. They got the Ten Commandments removed from Oklahoma because they filed a lawsuit to put the Baphomet there. These are the other guys who made the Baphomet with the little children and everything. And they did something in Florida.
Yep.
This is what they do. Because they don't believe in God. They're atheists. They don't believe in God. But they're so concerned about their disbelief in God that if somebody else does, they can't take it. And they don't want you praying to God or doing anything to God, to a deity they don't believe in.
Right.
That doesn't make sense to me.
No.
It doesn't. Okay, Pokemon. If somebody is jumping around and they actually believe Pokemon exist and they're going around collecting Pokemon, and I'm trying to stop those people from collecting something I don't believe exists, isn't that a little weird?
Yeah.
I don't believe in Pokemon. I don't believe there's real Pokemon exist. So why would I care if they go out and collect something I don't?
Because you're hateful.
It's not logical at all.
It's illogical.
Yeah. So anyway, at a time when religious advocates hold tremendous power in the White House, the Satanic Temple's mission may become more important than ever. If its would-be supporters could get past all the demonic imagery. Here's the co-founder of the Satanic Temple in Los Angeles. He says, "We decided that Satan was the ultimate rebel, but they don't believe."
I was just going to say, they don't believe in this guy, but
okay. So we decided that a guy we don't believe in was the ultimate rebel, and we realized the power of that symbol. That's William Morrison. He's a co-founder of the temple. He's been holding recruitment and meetings, trying to get people to go. He acknowledges that while the group's allegiance to Satan may give the wrong impression, it has also garnered them an outpouring of international media attention. Yeah, they believe that any press is good press. And they're right. They're getting press. When critics express revulsion at the idea of Satanism, Morrison says he tells them it's nothing compared to gory religious iconography. Let's take the pentagram. Oh, here's what he says. Let's take the pentagram and paste that on a wall. And let's see, take the crucifix and put that on the wall. Which one is scarier, this star shape or this bleeding hippie dude nailed to a cross?
Ugh.
And he will be accountable for every idle word out of his mouth, folks. We really do. They're also teaming up with all the transgender people. See, it's all tied in. It's all tied in. Yeah, so the organization itself says they don't align with any political party, campaign, or candidates. However, the goals are in staunch opposition to the Trump administration's crackdowns on reproductive health, freedom of the press, and transgender rights. But they don't get political, but we don't like this. So they want First Amendment rights. They want women to have control of their bodies. We want the LGBT community to have equal rights, dang it. And obviously with Trump, he says, and Pence being in office, and with the administration that's being put in place right now, we're probably looking at a more aggressive stance than in previous years. And he says membership in the organization has surged after Trump was elected, with thousands of members now spread among dozens of chapters around the world. So anyway, they're saying that Trump has given them a big boost, and it's probably true. It's probably true because these people are weird. We talked last week about the witches that were going to do spells every
crescent moon, half crescent moon or something.
Yeah, so they're going to do all that stuff. So that's what you're dealing with. These kind of knuckleheads.
It's a great world.
It is a great world, and it's going to end because the aliens are here. This is from the Daily Sheeple. The Daily Sheeple. Researcher finds that UFO sightings have never been this numerous. Now, that's something in itself. Okay, we realize that some of the sightings are Venus. We realize some of the sightings are Chinese lanterns. We realize some of the sightings are military secret planes flying across your neighborhood. we realize some of the sightings are people on drugs or whatever. But there's so many unidentified flying phenomena in the sky that you cannot write off all of it as being swamp gas. There's something going on. There's something going on beyond just birds and military planes and things like that.
Right.
Even though that accounts for, some of it. It's well known that strange UFO phenomena have been going on for some time. People have reported these objects for decades. That's true. There's even reason to believe that UFOs were spotted centuries ago. That's probably true. However, what's more surprising than the UFO reports themselves is how often they're occurring in the modern world. Apparently, the number of UFO sightings has been escalating in recent years, and I believe that to be so, because I do believe they're connected to the watchers, the fallen angels, these entities.
That's right.
Whether they're biological craft, that they're alive themselves, or real craft, I don't know. Interdimensional, I have no idea. That's beyond my pay grade. But they're connected to the sinister rulers of this planet.
That's right.
The ones that will mix their seed with men. Not will, they are. They are mixing.
Yeah.
They have been mixing.
That's right. And we're just seeing the results of it.
Yeah, we're seeing the results of the star children and stuff right now. I know I sound crazy, but it really is true. UFO Reporting Center, according to Sam Monfort, he's a PhD student. He collected data, and he says UFO sightings are at an all-time high. For instance, there were 10,000 claimed sightings in 1990. 10,000.
Wow.
But by 2010, there were roughly 45,000 sightings every year.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge jump.
Yeah.
He also noted the type of UFOs that people claim to have changed over time. For most of the 20th century, UFO sightings mainly consisted of flying saucers and cigar shapes. But these days, most people describe them as strange lights. Yeah, that's what you read about. Mm-hmm. But is not Satan and his angels, don't they disguise themselves as ministers of light?
Yep.
So how much more would Satan's ministers disguise themselves as angels of light?
That's right. That's a good point, Brother KAPOW.
That's probably what you're seeing in the sky. What's also interesting about this report is that it shows just how many UFO sightings occur in the U.S. Americans are hilariously more likely to report a UFO sighting than anyone else. Mm-hmm. Americans report these objects at a rate that is 300 times the global average. He also found that UFO sightings in the U.S. tend to spike on the 4th of July. That's going to be obvious, right? Mm-hmm. There's stuff flying around in the sky. But that trend has escalated significantly since 2008. Isn't that weird?
That's interesting.
So Western culture has seen more UFOs than anywhere else. I wonder. I bet you it's because we have sold out to them for their technology and for their guidance.
Yeah, well, that's why we let the Germans come out here. Because
Exactly.
they're the ones that had the technology first.
Exactly. They're the ones who sold out first.
Exactly. And then we wanted their knowledge, and so we allowed them to come here. And there you have it.
Now we have the NASA space program.
Mm-hmm.
That comes from them. Okay, this dude, man, doesn't do justice unless you see his face. This man spent $50,000 on over 100 procedures to transform into a genderless alien. And yep.
And he plans to have his genitals, nipples, and his belly button removed.
Wow. He's only 22 years old. My question is, where's he getting this kind of cash?
I know. Oh, he's from L.A. too.
Yeah, he's obviously some kind of sex worker, some kind of freakazoid. Yeah, I mean, you're 22 years old, and you already spent $50,000 on this. His name is Vinny O.
Vinny
O. He's 22 from Cuckoo, California, Los Angeles. He's had over 110 procedures. He wants to transform into a genderless extraterrestrial. Oh, he's a makeup artist. He believes he's neither male nor female.
See, these are good goals.
There are good goals. Good for him. Good for him. Now, what happens if he turns into an alien and then he decides to wrestle little high school girls? Mm-hmm. Would that be fair? Probably. It's a medical thing.
Yep.
I'm an alien. I've had surgery to be an alien. Yeah, like Miss KAPOW says, he's going to have his genitalia removed. He says he's neither male nor female, and so his extreme look is a way to mirror how he feels inside. Okay.
Alrighty then.
I think that's really important because then you understand how the spiritual then manifests itself in the physical.
Exactly.
The spiritual manifests itself in the physical. So you see something in the physical or experience something in the physical world, there's a spiritual cause
and
effect to this stuff for a lot of things. Now, he started with lip fillers at the age of 17.
See, 17.
Where do you get the money to do that?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
At 17, he should be out there mowing lawns. Before having 2 rhinoplasties, multiple cheeks and brow bone fillers, and more, he's a part-time model.
There you have it.
You got to see this guy. Figure what he's modeling. I don't know. He wears large blackened contact lenses, alien-like talons, and unusual hair dye colors. He's going to fork out another $160,000 on surgery to have his genitalia, nipples, and belly button removed.
Wow.
$160,000. Wow. Vinny said, I want to be a sexless alien being. I want my outside to reflect how I feel on the inside. So why does he feel that way on the inside? Because it's a demonic takeover of a host. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The overall image I want to do is alien. I want to be a hybrid, not male or female. I've wanted to be sexless and genderless since I was 17. I've been going to doctors to see if it's possible, but had no luck. I don't want people to think I'm trying to change into a woman. I could live without sexual organs, so why should I have a penis or a vagina? Now, there's one picture of here. I don't know if you see this, Miss KAPOW, where he's laying and it looks he's oiled up or something.
Yeah, nasty.
But he's on the black and white Masonic tiled floor. Mm-hmm. Isn't that kind of interesting?
Yeah.
Why they chose that?
Ooh, that's
it's just really creepy.
That's a nasty
Oh, that's a
picture.
nasty picture. Oh, my goodness. Oh, they're all hard to look at. He says, I don't see why I shouldn't have my genitals completely removed and have nothing down there. Mm-hmm. So far, I've had $50,000 in skincare and procedures, including 2 rhinoplasties, facial fillers in my lips, cheeks and brow bones that look extraterrestrial. Yeah. He says, I do kind of look like a Martian. I have a really big head, no eyebrows, and I've just been connecting with that. So I don't know how he knows what a Martian looks like, but apparently he does.
Well, it's probably shown to him.
Probably in a dream. Mm-hmm. When people ask me how I'd label myself, I tell them, quote, extraterrestrial, hot mess, self-obsessed. It's becoming my slogan. Boy, what you doing? I'm an extraterrestrial, hot mess, self-obsessed. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Vinny started cosmetic procedures after feeling like an outcast while growing up. Wow, that's kind of a shock. Really is. Wow. He became an LGBT plus activist and feels like his look now represents his beliefs that people shouldn't be labeled. But he just said he wanted to be an alien. That's a label.
It is.
I don't. These guys, they don't make sense.
They don't make sense.
Over the years, I've realized I'm not gay, bi, trans, or any of these things. I just want to be me.
An alien.
An alien. I do it to inspire the world in a certain way. I want people to stop labeling others or putting them in boxes. You just put yourself in a box. You said you wanted to look
box.
You said you wanted to look like a Martian. Mm-hmm. You can't. This should go on. You can't fix stupid, really.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It really should, because this guy is not making any sense. When out in public, he draws much attention. I can imagine. He believes it's down to some of his unusual standout features and dress sense. Mm-hmm. He added, my large black contact lenses are a necessity. It's like my pearl necklaces. I wear them to walk around everywhere I can. They make my eyes look super massive. Some people call it demonic, but I think it looks beautiful, like an animal. Apparently, this guy is joining a TV show called Plastics of Hollywood.
Yes, that's a freak show, too.
Yeah. Plastics of Hollywood. Isn't that amazing? Wow. So his makeup is focused on looking sexless. I play with color a lot. There's no shade. I wouldn't experiment with it. Vinny has found the public are split on his look. Some adore him. Others think he's nuts. Let's see. I don't look real, and people love it. Some people have said they want their kids to be like me. Wow. And that I'm an inspiration to children who don't feel like they belong. They don't feel like they belong because you look like an alien. Other times I had shopping carts chucked at me. I've even been considered a sexual object by men and women. I'm used to not fitting in.
Oh, brother.
When I was 16, I was wearing full bodysuits and 8-inch platforms going outside in the day, so it feels very normal to me. Vinny is set to appear on the Plastics of Hollywood show that will house real-life plastic surgery addicts together in attempts to nurture their talent. My goal is to change everyone's mind about human dolls. I'm trying to wake people up to show them that gender roles in society do not matter and show them that we need to do better as human beings and nicer to one another.
Wow.
Goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Apparently on this show, they say they're in an era where there's people who want to look like lizards.
Yeah.
They want to implant horns into their skulls.
And see, we've seen that before where people want to be, another kind of animal like a cat and lizards. You got vampires.
They split their tongues and the bagel heads. They do all kinds of stuff. So this agency, they want to be the first agency who will treat these human dolls or alien dolls and cartoons as this normal part of society that we're living in now. We have all these people, the freaks, weirdos, and we want to make a society understand them. Really? That's the goal? So that we all understand them and go, okay, well, I understand them perfectly.
Wow. On the side note here, they said that his 110 surgeries to look like an alien consist of these. He had 35 whole body and face laser treatments. He had 12 cheek fillers, 2 brow fillers, 15 lip fillers, 10 fillers for random wrinkles. Okay, remember, this kid's only 16, 17 years old. 5 Botox sessions, 5 nose procedures, 1 Botox under eye, 5 facial peels, and 20 cryofacial freezing.
Wow.
Ow.
It's easy to focus on this guy or alien thing. It's easy to focus on him and go, what the heck? But really, I mean, think about it. Is there parent? There's got to be a parent somewhere.
Yeah.
The guy's 16, 17 years old doing this stuff. He's only 22 right now. So before he was an adult, he was doing all this stuff. What's the parent here?
I know.
The other thing is these doctors, if that's what you want to call them, that are doing this to a 16, 17-year-old kid and even still continuing. You go to a plastic surgeon, go, I want to look like an alien. He goes, okay, fork over to $50,000.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that shouldn't even be legal, man.
No. His future surgeries included genital removal, nipple removal, belly button removal, a forehead realignment, ear pinning, nose job, eyelid revision, jaw implants, and cheek implants.
Wow. I think if he really wants to look like an alien, he needs to get rid of the fingers and only have the 3.
There you go.
Because all the grays
Don't
only
give him any
have
ideas.
3s. Yeah. Yeah, you got to get rid of the thumb and the little finger, so you just have the 3 alien fingers. I mean, if he's going to do it, you got to do it right.
Yeah.
And then his skin should be gray.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of alien he's trying to represent, but that's not the aliens I know. He's a phony if he's not a gray alien, right?
He's pretty creepy looking.
He is creepy. Yeah, he's creepy. Okay, Ms. KAPOW, last but not least, robots could soon be covered in real human flesh.
Oh, that's nasty.
Human flesh. This is exactly
Poochie.
out of the play script of the Terminator movies.
Yep.
The Terminator 800.
Sarah Connor?
Yes.
The Terminator 800. They look so the cyborgs look so lifelike that you couldn't tell the difference between them and a human. Only dogs knew. And that's why when the cyborgs tried to infiltrate John Connor's cave or whatever, the dogs barked. And they knew. They knew. It was a Terminator T-800.
See, and the thing is, do you know that blows my mind, okay? When we watched that movie or that series, it was like fantasy.
Yeah, like, this is crazy.
You know what I mean? That can never happen. And here we are. 2017, and
it's here. Yeah. Isn't that amazing? And not only just the skin-colored robots or cyborgs, the whole thing about Skynet becoming alive, the whole thing about artificial intelligence is becoming a
reality.
Real thing. Yes, my friends. It's scary. So, grab your pitchforks. Scientists want to coat robots in muscle fibers and tissue so they look just like us. But there's a reason, Ms. KAPOW. There's always a reason for our best interest. Yeah. It's all in aid of helping those in need of tendon replacements.
Of course.
Like musicians or athletes. Yeah, so we're gonna have to grow these muscles and skin on a robot so that, when Alien Boy needs a new calf, they'll be able to get it to him.
Exactly.
Yeah, crazy. Scientists have already created fleshly biobots made of living cells which can wriggle and walk. But these two University of Oxford biomedical researchers now claim, Ms. KAPOW, that humanoid robots could help create muscle and tendon grafts that actually work. Their findings published in journal Science Robotics claim that the technology is already in place to start harvesting muscles and tissue on human-like machines. Scientists have been trying to engineer human tissue with varying degrees of success. Well, see, this is going to be big in the sex bot industry.
Yep.
Huge. Labs filled with huge vats oozing with nutrients are a common sight when growing usable muscle grafts. Really?
Wow.
But traditional tissue growth methods fail to mimic the real mechanical environment for cells, which is necessary to ensure that they are robust enough to work with human joints. You see how they're getting around this? Mm-hmm. Instead, we need a robot with structures, dimensions, and mechanics similar to those of the human body. Yeah. Wow. The humanoid bioreactor system. It's going to be the HBS, the humanoid bioreactor system. It could look similar to the Kinshiro robot made by the University of Tokyo. And they have a picture of that guy, and he's doing, or that robot, it's a humanoid, and he's doing push-ups. Yeah, doing push-ups. So, yeah, this ain't for the burn victims, folks. This ain't for the musicians and the athletes. This is for them. And when they become alive and they gather their own artificial intelligence, then they're going to come and they're going to kill you. And then you're going to have to go back in time and send somebody to protect John Connor. And then you're going to get a knock on your door, and he's going to go, Sarah Connor. And you're going to go, yeah. And then he's going to shoot you. Boom.
Yeah.
Because he's just going through the yellow pages looking for Sarah Connor. Mm-hmm. Sarah Connor.
Sarah Connor?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I've done enough, Mr. KAPOW.
Wow.
I know. So let's say goodnight. I think your dogs want to eat.
Oh. Ciao, babies.